When I was a kid, I always had a secret passion to start a book club. In school, there were many books that we were forced to read and write a paper on, but rarely any books that we could talk about. My name is Jen, aka the Philarican, and this is the passion behind this podcast. I want to discuss my top takeaways, questions, and epiphanies with you. I want to inspire you to pick up one of these books or suggest a book that I may be missing out on. For this month, I wanted to expand and work on breaking some bad habits and create new ones. When I first started my journey, I reached out to my best friend. She is the one who gave me this book, Adventures for the Soul by Shannon Kaiser. Kaiser breaks it down to 21 powerful, effective ways to break some bad habits and to start new ones. Each podcast will include 3 of her tips. Last podcast, I talked about hitting that reset, breaking up with our problems, and freeing those feelings. Today, I'm going to go into a little bit more depth on exactly how to free the feelings. First off, we got to spend more time with ourselves. Just me, myself, and I. Hate is a very strong word, but I am truly starting to hate the word selfish. Selfish has always had a negative connotation towards it. And maybe you heard this word being used when things do not go your way. Or maybe someone has called you that word in order to resist change. Dictionary.com defines selfish as a devoted to or caring only for oneself. This may come as a shock, but being selfish or filling yourself of self-love is exactly the same thing. Giving yourself love, letting go of the past, and staying open will provide you with answers to your self-love language. Now, I have to give a fair warning. Starting or restarting a relationship with yourself will not be easy. Have you ever met up with an old friend that you haven't seen in years? What do you do for the first 20 to 30 minutes? You two will probably reminisce, bring up old memories that you've experienced together, good, bad, and the ugly. And sometimes those memories can be hard. Sometimes those memories bring up old negative feelings that you may have stashed away in hopes to never feel it again. Unfortunately, self-love and understanding your self-love language doesn't cut out the negative feelings or the negative words. If it did, then we wouldn't have a complete understanding of what our language is trying to tell us. Spending more time with just ourselves will allow us to understand every feeling, every notification, and every pain signal that comes our way. Freeing our feelings will require us to spend more time with ourselves, but it will also require us to stay aware. Digging out all of the negative or painful feelings is uncomfortable. This is why 70% of people dislike themselves and unwilling to make a change because they don't want to sit in that uncomfort. Sitting in situations that are uncomfortable will allow a brand new perspective to come forth. Allowing awareness is taking responsibility for what we like and dislike in our own lives. We allow awareness to occur when we let go of our egos because our egos will misconstrue the lesson. Our egos will blame others for our issues, and blame is just fear's cousin. The last tip for this podcast will help bring in more self-love and awareness. You must play with your inner child. What is your inner child? Well, let me ask you a few questions. What did you like to do when you were a kid? What was the most important thing to you back then? What were the places you wanted to go? What were your dreams as a kid? What did you want to achieve? Kaiser claims that if we took 1 minute just one, to imagine our dreams and the life that we wanted to live, we would be describing our true essence. Our true essence is what we want out of life. Your inner child will tell you what you always wanted to accomplish, the places you always wanted to explore, and the values that you care about the most. The question is, when did we stop believing in our dreams and started believing in the reality that we have in front of us? This is not to be confused with gratitude, because you can be so thankful for the position that you are in, but it is also completely okay to not be completely happy with every single aspect in that position. Our soul and true essence is speaking to us in forms of feeling sad, in forms of feeling disappointment, in forms of feeling anger. But if we are not spending quality me time to understand these signals, we will miss the message completely. So have me time, and have a lot of it, because when you have me time, you will toss the ego out the door, play with your inner child, and allow awareness and clarity to sink in. Thank you for joining me for the Book of the Month podcast. The next podcast will be up on Monday. And if you missed last month's Book of the Month podcast, please check out A Tribe Called Bliss. And the first 2 videos are now public for everyone to view. I'll catch you next time.